People have definitely torn me down, and it made me feel like I'm just useless, or just like I'm not even a person. Getting picked last has been a very common theme in my life. The small guy that I am, 5'7", I'm not huge in stature, and that's really kind of made me an easy target for people who are bigger than me or think they're bigger than me. And being torn down has definitely made me build walls, and these walls are bigger than I want them to be. It's this box, and I'm the center of that box. And there's this person inside who's screaming in agony that they want to leave, and they can't leave.
I turned away from God, and instead of turning to Him, I ended up turning to cutting and self-harm. It seemed like the way to control the pain and to take the internal pain that I wasn't able to put into words and put it into a physical pain. And it seemed like my way to get people to notice, hey, there is something wrong here. And maybe she isn't actually as okay as we think. I just couldn't put what was going on in my head into words, so I put it into pain, physical pain. You know, it was my way to control everything that was going on that I couldn't control.
Right when my mom said that they were getting a divorce, I started crying, and I kept the anger in, but I was angry at the same time too, but I just didn't show it. I was more on the sad side because I still miss them too. Like, for the past year, my family hasn't been the best. My dad was out of the house for months. I don't know why, but he was out of the house for months because my mom was angry at him. And then we all gathered into Pastor Doug's office and we talked. And then the thing that hurt me more was my mom, my little sister, and my brother were moving out in Florida because they were getting a divorce. And that hurt me really much because I won't be able to see my mom or my brother, my sister. I fell into depression, and it just hurt a lot. And I've always, in my head, I always thought of self-harm because of how bad the depression was and how much my life is going to be changing.
Almost 2 years ago, my brother passed away. He died of an overdose of heroin, and my other brother, he was a drug addict, and then he went into a program and he sobered up, and I've seen what all that stuff can do to you, and now I know personally myself I would never do anything like that. When I found out that my brother passed away, not once did I ever feel God, why did you do this to me? I believed and I knew everything happens for a reason, but and I almost felt guilty in a way when I felt upset about it, because I wasn't really close with my brother, because I felt I shouldn't be crying because I wasn't even that close with him, but it still hurts.
4 years ago, I went into a coma, one of the biggest life changes of my life. I was drinking a lot and popping a lot of prescription drugs. They were all prescribed, but they were still being overused. I wound up going into a 4.5-month coma, and I lost 165 pounds. 7 days before I went into a coma, I was at a family reunion, and we were drinking a lot. I was walking back to our cabin late at night, and my brother, who just opened the church, saw me, and I almost fell into the swimming pool, so he helped me sit down, him and his wife, and started having a conversation about God with me. And I was really drunk and didn't want to hear it, and I was forget your God, I don't want to hear about him, I don't care about him. And 7 days later, I wound up in the worst coma of my life. I was 17, I had liver, kidney failure, I was on dialysis, for 6 months, and I feel like that was the biggest pivotal moment of my life. The biggest turning point of my life was 17 and in a coma. God, he doesn't really like to put us in those positions, but I feel like he had already tried to help me turn my life around a lot, and I just kept ignoring him, so he put me in the position where he knew I would accept him.
When I was here, Adam had said a prayer, and he said, if you want to accept God into your life, then repeat after me. And I knew I wanted to, but I didn't know how to start. So I repeated after him, in my head, the prayer. And once I told my mom that, she was overwhelmed with joy. She was so happy. I think she's proud of who I am now. Some people would say that I should be upset and depressed because I've had all these things that have happened to me in my life, but I'm a happy person. I have so much to be thankful about. I have friends, I have a family who loves me and cares about me, and I have this church, I have God. I'm a happy person.
I think the walls at this point in my life right now, I'm climbing them. I'm not out yet, but I'm climbing the walls. And God stood on top of the wall for me, and he's thrown this rope down. In my life, I've actually never really had really strong friends or just a friends group in general. And this church makes it so I feel like I have a bunch of friends. Even if I don't talk to them, I feel like they're there. And just having people that you know they're going to be there, it's very comforting to you.
I love everyone coming here. I love youth group because I get to learn more about God, and everyone has a unique story, and I love hearing other people's story, and it kind of relates back to me. And so I'm glad I'm coming here. I'm glad that everyone cares about me, and I'm glad I have friends. I want God to take over me, and I want him to be in me. I want Jesus to be my master. I want him to teach me, take over my life and lead me on the right path that he wants me to do.
July 19th was the first night that I ever came to this youth group. And about a week before that, I was just down in the dumps. That was it for me. I was done. And I got a text from a friend that I hadn't talked to in almost 2 years. And she just said to me, she said, hey, my church does this thing called Underground. It's really fun. I was interested in seeing if you wanted to come. And I went. And it was amazing. I had so much fun. I had been there one day, and they made me feel like I was there for years. They didn't exclude me because I was new. This was the place I had been searching for years. My life is a life that was made to follow God. I wanted to re-give my life and just say, I'm back, and I'm back for good.
I was baptized here actually in this church at 14. I was baptized because in my head it was all my older brothers and sisters were baptized at 14, and I felt it's what my parents wanted me to do. I want to re-get baptized now because I feel like when I was 14 I wasn't doing it for the right reasons. I didn't know the real reasons of baptism. I didn't understand what it meant. And I feel like now I understand being baptized it's living for God. It's understanding that Jesus died on the cross for our sin. I want to be a follower of Jesus. I want to live for Jesus. I want to be able to help people the way God has helped me.
My name is Bryanna.
Christian,
Megan,
Robert,
Johnny, and I've
decided
To follow Jesus.
Jesus.